Welcome to everyone to Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. My name is Coach Lacy, and if you haven't already hit that subscribe button or follow button wherever you found me on the big wild web, be sure to do so you can be notified every time we go live, every time we do an update. Today I am talking about a really heavy topic, so strap it on in because this one stung a bit. And I am talking about when people that we thought we knew are not who we thought that they were. That can be a little bit dysregulating, but it's something that we all have had to walk through in one point or another. And today, this particular message is pretty heavy, so I'm going to disclaimer it with, I'm sorry if I trigger anyone, because it was very triggering for me to receive the information that I received this week. And the question I have for you is, what do we do when someone we thought that we once knew, someone that we trusted or even admired and looked up to? What do we do when it turns out that they are capable of doing something absolutely horrifying? Like, how do you even reconcile that in your brain, right? So recently, I found out that someone that I went to school with, a friend of mine during my childhood and teenage years, and their family members were good friends of mine. They were in my group of in my high school clique. It was a person that I really thought was truly just kind and smart and attractive and just had a lot going on for them all their life. This person got in serious trouble, like for downloading child sexual abuse material, right? Heavy, super heavy. And that really, when I received this information, it really kind of rocked my world because you think you know someone, you think you know their family, you think you know, and turns out you don't. Turns out that you didn't really know what was in that person's heart and that they were capable of doing something absolutely horrifying. And that kind of knocked my socks off a little bit. And it's a bit like the Travis Decker situation here in Wenatchee. You would have never thought that Travis would have been in this situation with his three young girls, but here we are. Still haven't found them. But when someone that you know and someone that you admire, or even someone that you love and trust, because I'm sure that this person's siblings is just shocked because I know his sister. Um, what do you do, right? Like, I, what do you do, and how do you receive that information? And as the week has gone on, I've shared this information. It's really quite sensitive, and I've shared it publicly with a few of my friends. But usually I'm really like I'm the first person to share this type of information if I have found that out about someone. I'm the first person to just to let it all hang out and expose the person. But because it was so close to home and so close to my heart and my friend group, this was really difficult. And all of my friends, even people who barely knew this person, were just absolutely in total disbelief, as they should be. Just absolutely horrifying. And this was someone that we would never, ever expect something like this from ever. I mean, this is someone who is good looking. This is someone who had everything going on for them. This is someone who was kind and gentle and thoughtful. This is someone that was masculine, someone that was popular, and they did something absolutely horrifying. They had been found for some horrifying things. I don't even want to repeat them, and I won't. Um, but it was just horrifying. And when you find yourself in this moment, you kind of have like um you kind of start to wonder about everyone and everything around you. And you wonder, what people's secret lives are really like, and maybe, if you're watching this, maybe you've had a moment like that too, where someone's true character or a hidden part of their life, of like this second life, just comes crashing into your reality like a freight train, right? It's shocking. It knocks you off your block. And I can't even imagine being related to this person or being this person's sister. If this was my brother, I would be devastated. And everything that I thought I knew about life and people and family and friends would be completely shattered because already I'm starting to question the people I grew up around and the experiences I had. It leaves you questioning, right? It leaves you asking and leaves you wondering. So what do you do? It's jarring. It's completely disorienting. And frankly, it's absolutely disappointing. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, how do you move forward when you receive this information that shakes your foundation and you just are stuck in disbelief? Well, we have to first stop assuming that we know the full picture of people's hearts. We have to stop assuming that we know what people have been through. We have to stop assuming that we know people fully, because we don't. The only person that we know fully is ourselves. We can't actually know someone's heart, even if we think we do. And we can love people and we can enjoy our time with them, and we can even believe the best for them. But we can't really put people on a pedestal, number one. And when we do that, when we put people on a pedestal, we are most always going to be disappointed. And we can't assume that we know everything. We can't assume that people don't live secret lives and don't have horrors in their heart. And that's really difficult to reconcile, especially if you're someone who has a pure heart of tender, loving mercy and would never even think of something like that. And as somebody who has walked through the darkness and hunted these people down to turn them in, these types of predators, um, it's never not surprising. It's never not shocking. And it's always just deeply disappointing that humanity could be possible of such atrocities. And it's incredibly disappointing, and it kind of shatters your idea of what reality is. And so what we do with that disappointment is we have to grieve it. We have to grieve the loss of what we thought was the reality. We need to acknowledge the sadness, acknowledge the shock, and even acknowledge that anger and honor it and feel it and let it move through you. But don't let it make you hard, and don't let it make you give up on the world. I've seen a lot of really horrible things. I have seen the worst that humanity has to offer. And in that, I have kept my tender, loving heart of mercy. And I have chosen to stay soft. And that's the hardest part for me. It's been the hardest part to um, not grow in the bitterness of the anger that I feel towards humanity. Because I have a lot of anger towards humanity of how on earth people could treat children or animals or people in such a manner that is frankly demonic. And so it's easy to become hardened, and it's easy for your heart to become hard, and it's easy to get caught up in being distrustful, not not believing the best in people, becoming cynical. I've had those moments of being incredibly cynical um, when after I have seen some of these things, and I almost lost faith in humanity. But if I was to let every single tragedy or atrocity or betrayal close my heart, then I would stop loving and stop being showing up in the world the way that I want to show up. I would lose myself to the inhumanity, and the hate would just harden me and make me bitter. And I would stop loving. We just stop loving. We just stop loving and we become embittered. And so instead of being hardened and hate for these perpetrators and the people that disappoint us and shock um and just disturb us, instead of focusing on what we don't like, we need to focus on what's good. And instead, maybe and pray for the victims, pray for the poor people that have been in this situation with these people. And then pray for the predator and pray for the person, because their salvation, um, their salvation is the only thing that can make this world a better place, is if the demons are executed and they are saved from these horrible atrocities. And praying for the families of these people, of these predators that are frankly monsters. Um, and in some light, there's part of me that thinks they could never be redeemed and they should be thrown into the lake of fire. But, um, you know, that's something that's not my call and that's not my judgment. And so to keep my heart soft and stay discerning, in my mind, um, I have to remain tender and I have to keep that tender heart of mercy and I have to remain kind. Not nice, kind. There's a big difference between being kind and being nice. And we have to stop pretending like we know everything about people just because they are cool or they seem nice or your besties, or you think you know something, you think you know someone, because the reality is that evil and demons, they wear all sorts of masks. They're really great at fooling people. And people do get possessed with demonic entities and have attachments, and there is a spiritual war in this world. Whether you want to believe it or not, we are in a spiritual war. But that also means that grace exists, and that if the evil is so dark and over encompassing, then the light must be the counter and be even greater than that. Because while evil wears all sorts of masks and shows up quite prevalently, so does grace. And I choose to be someone that looks for grace and put that mask on of grace so that I can help other people that are hurting and help other people through those dark times and carry the torch when we're going through the darkness. Because life is not straightforward. Life is not all about us. There's a divine design and a calling on our life. And even when we're faced with such darkness and detriment and demons, we have a choice. And in our choices, when we choose to control our controllables and anchor in, Anchor in every day with our foundations so that we can show up with integrity, with love, and with grace and with honor. That is how we get through these hard times, especially when we are confronted with something so absolutely dark, evil, and detrimental with this information. It could break you. It could break you. So if you're faced with something today that is just demonic and detrimental and shocking, and you don't know how to move forward, and you wonder to yourself, what even is the point? Have some hope. Have some hope and anchor into your process. Choose to feed your mind with positive things. Choose to feed your mind with the words of the Spirit. Choose to feed your mind with something fruitful that can help you fight these demons in the darkness. Because this world is not our own. This is not our dominion. This is not my home. I'm just here temporarily to help usher in the light and fight off the dark and learn something in the process as I grow. And you are too. I'm always saying there's a divine design and a calling on your life, so live it. So stay anchored, stay kind, and if something ever shatters your soul to the point where you just feel like you're broken with the information that is totally demonic and dark, just come back to love and recognize that if this is true, if this darkness is real, and this is so demonic and evil that how do I reconcile? Just know and have hope that the counter is also true. And that is how we beat that darkness and don't let it overcome us. And that's where all the healing starts. So if you're listening and you know what I'm talking about, and you're angry about it, and you are angry at these people, or you are in disbelief, or maybe you're part of the family and you're feeling some major shame, anchor in, hold space for grace, and start controlling your controllables and start feeding your mind with positive things and know in your heart that there is a divine design and a calling on everyone's life. And even these people that are overcome by demons, this is an opportunity for them to break free of that hell that they're in and make a change. And this is an opportunity for you to break free of that mental hell and light the torch for someone else and lead the way. Because life is full of crazy, crazy stuff. And a lot of it we're not of this world. A lot of it can be demonic and heartbreaking. And this information can be devastating. And if you find yourself just not able to work things out and you need a helping hand, make sure to book a session with me on my website, www.lacyjwatson.com. You will find my application for coaching there. I would love to walk with you. I would love to sit with you and help feed your mind with information and affirmations and action steps that you can take to set some of this down and start filling yourself up with the fruit of the Spirit and with positivity and with love so that you can light the torch with confidence and knowing that you've been through those dark places and you've seen the darkness, but there is something so much greater than yourself. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope that you have a great weekend, and I will see you guys again next week. Ciao.